start this engine, you don't just have to, after finishing your machine, you know, when you're about to buy it, there are people, if you are buying it from them, they will not start it. It will be inside the box. Or if you are putting an order, it will be inside the box. So when you bring it, all these things will be dismantled inside the box. You need to fix this one, and make sure that when you are to spark this place, you need to fill it with water. This tank is for water. And sometimes when the machine is working, it's very dangerous to touch it. So you need to tell your operators. When it's hot and you put your hand this way, your hand will be burned. And you can also dim the water from this place. When the water is hot, you do it this way, you see it's coming. You see? So you close it. When it's hot, you can open this place. You can open this place and refill it with cool water. Then you can collect the hot water this way and put it somewhere. It will be cool. You can also connect a drum of water any part of this place. You can bring it this place by any side of this place. But if you think it's going to be difficult for you, you can only use the gallon. When you are going, you attach it to this one. I think this one, we have a lot of space on it so that you can even put about 2 or 3 gallons aside here and tie it. But when you are operating, you have to open this one, please, so that the vapor will be evaporate from this place. If not, when the vapor, you close it inside this one, the cylinder head gasket will bend. And also, when you bring it, when you fix this one is your accelerator. There is a line indicated here. This line means that that's the starter. That's the starter for this one. So if you want to spark, you pull this one to this line. You push it to this place before you turn the engine. When you turn it, the engine will spark. When it sparks and you need more speed on the traction drum, you pull it down small. When you need another speed, you pull it down small again. Then you lock it. It depending the type of crops you are going to trash. If you are trashing maize, you need to give more strength to it so that you get more output. And if the soya, you look at the cracking. Sometimes when the soya is too dry, it will crack. And you also have to figure out the moisture content of the soya. When it's too much, it will crack. So with this condition, it's very good for threshing. And when you are working, sometimes it gives you problem when you don't know how to control the accelerator. When it's over speed, and it's not supposed to be high for that crop, it will give you problems. So you need to figure out and control the gas before you can complain. So when you do that, you may have a good result. But without controlling this accelerator, it can give you more problems. And also, this pulley you've seen up here is very important, but we can use it for all crops. If you are to use for maize, you need to switch off this one. You take off your belt, the belt can even hang here, nothing will happen. Then you lose this one, lose the other side, open this place, and take this one out. You can use it for maize. But if we come to a crop that they normally approve with plant, like soya, rice, beans, you can use it for this one. And sorghum. Sorghum too, you can also use this pulley. But when it comes to maize, it beat the maize and hit this way and come out. So you switch off this one before you use it for maize. At the same time, you have to switch off the sieve inside here for maize sieve. But the other crop, any crop that is, let me say, smaller than maize, you can use this sieve for it. This is a multi-thresher. It can do a lot. So with that, all what I'm saying about these crops, you need to control the accelerator and frequent checking of your water and the oil. And when the diesel finish, maybe somebody will operating, you forget that the diesel will even fail before you realize the engine is off. You need to slack this bolt. You need to slack this bolt. When you see that diesel is coming, this is the tank hose. So when the diesel comes to this place, it will pass through this bolt. This is the pump. So when you slack this, when the diesel comes here, you tighten it. When it drops to the pump, you slack this one, and when the diesel is coming, you close it before you start turning. When you are to start turning, make sure that you don't forget of this one. When you don't set this one to the starting line, the engine will never start. I think this is all what I have to say.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, keep filming me. So right now there's no covers on this machine, but you always need to operate it with the protective covers on here, or else somebody will get their hair or their clothing caught in these belts. So there are some metal covers that they'll put over this. Okay, you have 2 air controls on this machine, actually 3 now. So one is here. This is the secondary suction. So this is the primary suction. So this is how the chaff comes out. So this one, right now the air controller is not on there, but the air controller will be a bolt on a spring right here. So if you're throwing seeds out the exit chute, then you need to close that down. If you're getting too much chaff, you need to open that up. Okay, and so you'll need to always experiment with that. So that will take care of most of your problems with either chaff, being too much chaff, or throwing seed. Okay? So this is the secondary suction, and the reason we put this on is because if you're breaking seed and you slow down the threshing cylinder, it will also slow down the primary suction cleaner, and so then you would end up with too much chaff. So if you have to slow down the engine, this secondary one will pick up some of the chaff removal, and there's 2 ways to control this one. So this is one of the controllers, and you unscrew it. Yeah, it's on there really hard right now. But if you hear a thumping, it may be because there's a shaft in here. You don't want to set it so this is hitting the shaft. But if you put it down, it will suck less chaff. So if you have any seeds coming out this, then you would need to shut it down. If you're not pulling enough chaff out, then you would open this up. So it's up and down. There's also another controller of the air back here. Oh, these things are impossible to open. But yeah, so this is a little door, and you can take this completely off if you'd like. So if this is throwing seed, secondary, if it's throwing seed, you can open that up, and it will make less suction. So you have 2 air controllers on this one. And the reason we put the second one on, normally you're probably going to want it closed because this doesn't suck nearly as much chaff as this one does. So if your seed is not getting clean enough, then you're going to make sure this door is closed. Okay, so most of the time this door will be closed. The only time you would open it is if there's seed being thrown out this exit. Okay, so that's your controllers. So that's your controls of your chaff and your like if seed is being thrown out or not. So the other things that you can control, okay, if seed is breaking, then you're going to slow the engine speed down. If there's too much chaff, you can speed the engine up. So you always want the engine to be going as fast as possible to the point just where it starts to break seed, and then back it down a little bit. So the faster engine speeds are always better, unless it's breaking seed, and then back it down just a little bit. You guys all got that? Yes. So there's airflow control, there's engine control, and then up here is where you're feeding everything. And Maura already told you that you're going to disconnect this when you do maize. So you can see that you could get your hand caught in this, but normally your hands are going to be up here. You're not going to be putting them down in there. But you do want to be careful of this, or anybody else that's operating it. You want to be very, very careful that they don't stick their hand in this thing here. So as Maura mentioned, the way you change from crop to crop is you unbolt these 2 bolts, you have to, I think you have to what, take this belt off?
Yeah, you take that back
You
down.
take this belt off and you open this lid and the sieve that's in there just pops out and you pop the other sieve in. And the other sieve would be for maize. Okay, everybody got that?
Yeah.
Can you guys think of anything I'm missing? So as we talked before, you know, you might have one person here handing this guy to speed things up. Okay, I think that's it? All right. So I will share this video with you guys. I'll put it on the cloud so you guys can all access it.
And also, it's going to keep the grease.
Oh yes, okay, so you have to do, are you still videoing? Yeah. So you do have to do maintenance every day. So you need to check the oil every day in the engine and you need to grease these bearings every day. So the grease is, you put grease in the grease gun and you open up and you put the grease gun against this. And usually we give it 3 squirts a day. If you don't have it on there tight enough, the grease will come out right at the grease gun tip, and you don't want that. You should be able to see maybe a little bit of the grease come out here, but you don't want to see the grease come out here. If you do, it's because the grease gun is not on there good enough, and it's not getting in, or it could be something wrong with the grease nipple. So these are set up. They've got lights. So here's your light that hooks into your truck that you're moving it with. That's got, and then here's your tow. What is this thing?
That one is just for protection.
Oh, okay, you can put that in there, okay. So I think these are all gonna come with 1 axle and a spare tire on the front. So there'll be 3 wheels, 3 tires available for you guys. We also still need to put U-bolts on the axles. And you're gonna wanna, like after this is painted, you're gonna, oh, you guys have welded in, okay. So they've got the electricity secured. Anything else you guys can think of?
You shouldn't forget to put
Tighten.
Oh yes, every day you need to tighten the nuts and bolts because you saw how much it's vibrating, right? Yeah. I would say that when we do more construction, I would not cut these. I would get these properly drilled, these holes,
Yes.
so that they're all at the same place, and don't use the plasma cutter or the gas to do that. What were you saying, Mauro?
Yeah, I want to talk about the bolts and nuts.
Okay, bolts and nuts, because these will come off, and if you're not checking them every day, they will come loose and you won't realize it, and then one day you'll be going down the road and this thing will just fall off.
And also before they use, they should also try to put the vibration rubbers.
Yes, we didn't have any rubber here, so I think on the other ones that we make, hopefully we're going to get an old tire and cut it up and put rubber under the engine to help reduce the vibrations some. Does anybody have any questions? So there's all sorts of adjustments you'll make. So when you first get this, you're going to need to go out to a field and just practice using it and learn how to use it yourself. So we did see some, as we put that first bunch in, we saw some seeds shoot out. Sometimes, it could be an issue with, we didn't put enough holes in this because we were running behind time. So if there's not enough holes for the seed to drop down, sometimes they might come out with the chaff. Yes?
Claro, guys.
Huh? To cost? We don't know. You'll have to ask James. So if you have seed come out, sometimes just the first bunch will throw seed out, and then it starts to go out more the proper way. But if you're getting seed thrown out, there's something that needs to be adjusted. So it could be, I think right now it may very well be because we don't have the airflow controller in here, and so it's at full air, so it's going to suck some of the smaller seeds out with it. When you get that in there and you can lower it down, then it will suck less seeds. Anything else, Hakeem? Okay, I think we can go ahead and run some beans through it now if you guys want to.